Paige Bueckers is probably the most universally liked person in sports. If you're into basketball, you know her as Paige Buckets. She was basically Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. But if you don't know basketball, you've probably seen all of the edits of her talking about her aura, seen her at Fashion Week and stuff. But I think everyone needs to hear her story. So in October 2001, Paige Buckets was born, and she started playing basketball at just 5 years old, coached by her father, Bob, who was also a point guard back in the day. Fun fact, she was also a Little League catcher, and she played football and soccer, but she loved basketball. By 7th grade, she was already playing with high schoolers, and by 8th grade, she was already on the varsity team. And then by her senior year, she was the first female high school player to be on the cover of Slam magazine and the #1 recruit in the country. She committed to UConn, and the hype was real. Analysts called her the most talked about recruit since Breanna Stewart. And she delivered, having a legendary freshman season, racking up awards left and right, including the ESPY for Best Female College Athlete, where she used her speech at just 19 years old to honor Black women. You see, Paige's parents divorced when she was just 3 years old and later remarried and had more children. Her mother moved to Montana while she stayed in Minnesota with her father. So her vocal support for the Black Lives Matter movement is very personal, as her half-brother Drew is half Black. After what happened to George Floyd, I don't want to go into too much detail because I want my video to get taken down, but she participated in marches and protests, bringing the same passion she brings on the court to her advocacy. Now, the hype was high about Paige Bueckers, and then we stopped hearing her name as much because she had a bunch of struggles with injuries. She had to get ankle surgery before her sophomore season, then suffered from a knee injury during her sophomore year. Just a month into her sophomore season, she was dribbling the ball up the court and she injured her knee and had to be carried off the court. UConn struggled without her, but she was able to return later in the season, and she was on a minutes restriction and couldn't really help her team, but they ended up making it to the Elite Eight, which showed how heroic and clutch she was. By the Elite Eight, she was back to her best, leading UConn back to the Final Four, but they ended up falling to South Carolina. Before her junior season, she tore her ACL during a pickup game, leaving her out for her entire junior season and giving her an extra year of eligibility. Then last year, Paige Buckets was officially back, and she led UConn to the Final Four again, where they lost to Iowa, but I don't think that this was their fault. The refs they wanted Caitlin Clark to get that championship, let me tell you. But instead of going to the WNBA draft, where she would have been a top 3 pick, Paige decided to stay in UConn for one last go around, hopefully to bring a championship to her team. And we're seeing that play out right now, and I really hope she gets it.